The room is quiet. Too quiet. Your guitar leans against the wall, its strings still humming with the ghost of a melody. You wrote a song that feels like truth, a song that captures a piece of your soul. You recorded it, you mixed it. You spent your last few dollars to get it mastered. Then you upload it to the endless ocean of the internet, filled with a fragile hope that someone, anyone, will hear it. And then you wait. The silence that follows can be deafening, a lonely echo in what feels like an empty digital room. This is a feeling almost every independent musician knows intimately, a silent struggle shared in thousands of bedrooms and home studios around the world. This is the daily reality for the underground artist. It's a world of immense passion and heartbreaking anonymity. You create music not for fame or fortune, but because you have to. It's a burning necessity, a language you use to speak to the world. Yet the world doesn't always seem to be listening. You see the massive machine of the mainstream music industry, with its polished stars and multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns. It feels like a fortress, impenetrable and distant. You ask yourself, how can my small voice ever compete with that kind of noise? How can I find my people, the ones who will truly connect with my sound? The dream is so clear in your mind. You picture a crowded room, not a stadium, but a small, intimate venue where every face is turned towards you. They aren't just listening, they are feeling. They sing your lyrics back to you, words you wrote when you felt completely alone. This is the dream that keeps you going. It's not about a record deal or a Grammy Award, it's about connection. It's the profound, almost magical experience of sharing a piece of yourself through music and having someone else receive it, understand it, and make it a part of their own story. This is the ultimate validation for an artist. But the path to that dream feels shrouded in fog. The old rules don't seem to apply anymore. The stories we grew up with, of being discovered by a scout in a smoky bar, feel like fairy tales from a bygone era. You're told you need a label. You're told you need a manager. You're told you need a booking agent. You're told you need a publicist. You're told you need a massive social media following before anyone will even give you a chance. It's an overwhelming list of requirements that can make you want to give up before you even start. The struggle is real, and it's exhausting. But what if there was another way? A path you could carve for yourself, on your own terms. For decades, the music industry was built like a kingdom with towering walls. At the gates stood the gatekeepers, the A&R executives, the record label presidents, the powerful radio programmers. They held the keys. They decided who was let in and who was left outside in the cold. To get your music heard by the masses, you had to get past them. You had to impress them, conform to their expectations, and sign on their dotted line. This system created a mystique around success. It made it seem like an impossible goal, achievable only by a chosen few who were anointed. These gatekeepers weren't necessarily villains. They were business people running a high-risk industry. They were looking for the safest bets, the artists who fit a certain mold and could generate a massive return on investment. This often meant sanding down the rough edges of an artist, pushing them towards a more commercial sound, and controlling their image. The artist, in exchange for a shot at stardom, often had to give up creative control, ownership of their music, and a significant portion of their earnings. The dream of getting signed was a deal with the devil for many, a trade-off that sometimes cost them the very thing that made them unique. This old model fostered a sense of dependency. Artists were taught to believe that they couldn't succeed on their own. They needed the label's money, their connections, and their marketing muscle. The idea of building a sustainable career as an independent artist was seen as a novelty. This created a culture of waiting to be discovered, waiting for an email back, waiting for that one life-changing phone call. This passive approach left countless talented musicians feeling powerless, their careers stalled while they waited for permission to succeed. But here's the secret they never wanted you to know. The walls of that kingdom have been crumbling for years. The internet didn't just crack the foundation, it blew the gates wide open. The power has shifted. The tools that were once exclusively owned by major labels, distribution, marketing, and direct access to a global audience, are now in your hands. You don't need to wait for an A&R scout to find you in a bar. You can find your own fans, one by one, from your own bedroom. The myth of the gatekeeper is just that, a myth. The old rulers have lost their absolute power, and a new era of artistic freedom has begun. Welcome to the new music business. It's a bit chaotic, it's constantly changing, and it can be intimidating. But most importantly, it is yours for the taking. The power is no longer concentrated at the top. It's decentralized, spread across a global network of creators and fans. Think about it. You can record a professional-sounding track on a laptop. You can distribute that track to Spotify, Apple Music, and every other major platform for less than the price of a pizza. You can shoot a music video on your phone and upload it to YouTube, where it has the potential to be seen by millions. This is a revolution, and you are living right in the middle of it. Artists like Chance the Rapper have become icons of this new era. He built a massive, dedicated fan base and won Grammy Awards without ever signing a major label record deal. He did it by releasing his music for free, by engaging directly with his fans, and by maintaining complete creative and financial control over his art. He proved that you don't need the old system to achieve the highest levels of success. He rewrote the rules by understanding that his most valuable asset wasn't a record contract. It was his direct relationship with the people who loved his music. His story is not an anomaly, it's a blueprint. This essay is your guide to navigating this new world. It's not about finding shortcuts or magic formulas for overnight fame. That's part of the old myth. This is about building something real and sustainable. It's about building a career, brick by brick, fan by fan. We will break down the practical, actionable steps you can take to grow your audience from zero. We will move beyond vague advice and give you concrete strategies for creating your brand, telling your story, and mastering the digital tools at your disposal. We'll explore how to turn passive listeners into a true community of dedicated supporters. Forget the gatekeepers. Forget waiting to be chosen. The stage is yours, and the rules are yours to write. You have the power to connect directly with your audience, to build a community around your art, and to define success on your own terms. It will require hard work. It will require persistence. It will require a different kind of hustle than just playing shows and hoping for the best. But it is more possible now than ever before. Your future is not in the hands of some executive in a corner office. It's in your hands. Let's get to work. Let's start with a story that feels almost like a modern fairy tale. Imagine a college student in her dorm room messing with a simple keyboard and a webcam. She's not trying to be a global superstar. She's just making music for herself and for her friends, capturing boredom and youthful charm. This was Claire Cottrell, who the world would soon know as Clairo. In 2017, she uploaded a video for her song Pretty Girl to YouTube. The video was lo-fi, unpolished, and completely authentic. It was just her, lip-syncing to her own song in her room, messy pigtails, showing off her glasses and her braces. It was real. The song was catchy, but the video was the magic. It was relatable. It perfectly captured a moment in time, a feeling that thousands of other young people recognized in themselves. It wasn't slick or produced by a major label. It was the opposite. Its power came from its raw honesty. The video didn't just get a few views, it exploded. Millions of people watched it, shared it, and felt a connection to this artist who wasn't trying to be anything other than herself. Clairo didn't have a marketing team or a publicist pushing the video. She had something far more powerful, an audience that discovered her and decided to champion her on their own. This viral moment was not an accident, but the result of genuine connection. Before Pretty Girl, Clairo was already part of online music communities. She was active on Bandcamp and SoundCloud, sharing her early work and connecting with other creators and listeners. She had built a small foundational audience that was already invested in her journey. When Pretty Girl took off, it wasn't just a random video going viral. It was her small community's favorite artist suddenly being discovered by the world. They were her first evangelists, the ones who pushed the share button and told their friends, "You have to see this." This shows the power of starting small and building a real foundation. Clairo's story is the perfect example of the new music revolution in action. She didn't wait for permission from a gatekeeper. She used the tools she had, a laptop, a webcam, and her innate creativity to put her art into the world. Her success wasn't handed to her. It was sparked by her authenticity and fanned into a flame by a digital audience hungry for something real. She later signed a deal, but on her own terms after she had already proven her value and built a massive fan base. She held the power. Her journey proves that your bedroom can be a launchpad and your unique, unpolished self can be your greatest asset. Now let's travel across the pond to the United Kingdom and talk about a different kind of hustle. This story isn't about a single viral video. It's about a decade of grit, sweat, and thousands of miles on the road. It's the story of Frank Turner. After his post-hardcore band, Million Dead, broke up, Frank found himself with an acoustic guitar and a passion for folk punk storytelling. He didn't have a label. He didn't have a big budget. He didn't have an established fan base for his new solo project. What he did have was a relentless work ethic and a belief that music is best experienced live, in a room full of people singing together. So, Frank started playing shows. A lot of shows. He played in tiny pubs, in friends' living rooms, in squats, on street corners. Anywhere someone would listen. His early tours were just him, his guitar, and a train ticket. He would often play to just a handful of people. But for Frank, every single person in that room mattered. He would stick around after every show, talking to people, sharing a drink, and making genuine connections. He wasn't just performing for them. He was building a community, one handshake and one shared story at a time. He turned listeners into friends, and friends into die-hard fans, wearing merch and cheering. This grassroots approach is slow, hard work. There are no shortcuts. Frank Turner's success was built on the simple, powerful principle of showing up. He consistently returned to the same towns, and each time, the crowd would be a little bigger. The 5 people from the first show would each bring a friend to the next one. Word of mouth, fueled by his unforgettable live performances and his genuine connection with his audience, became his most powerful marketing tool. He wasn't just an artist they listened to on a record. He was the guy they had a beer with, the guy who remembered their name the next time he came through town. Today, Frank Turner sells out arenas and headlines festivals around the world. He's played over 2,500 shows. He has a dedicated global fan base known as the Sleeping Souls, and he did it all by building from the ground up. He proved that in an age of digital streams and fleeting online attention, there is still immense power in the real-world connection of a live show. His journey is a testament to the power of persistence. It teaches us that you don't need a viral hit to build a career. You just need to be willing to do the work, play the shows, and treat every single fan like they are the most important person in the room. Let's shift our focus to a duo who turned a social media platform into their personal record label, TV station, and distribution network. Meet Pamplemousse, the husband and wife team of Jack Conte and Natalie Dawn. In the mid-2000s, they started making music together with 2 simple rules. Rule 1, what you see is what you hear. No hidden sounds, no lip syncing. Every sound in the final recording had to be visible as part of the video. Rule 2, if they played a show, it had to be awesome. This commitment to transparency and quality became the foundation of their entire career, which they built almost exclusively on YouTube. They called their creations video songs. They would deconstruct popular songs like Beyoncé's Single Ladies, Lady Gaga's Telephone, and rebuild them with their own quirky multi-instrumental arrangements. Each video was a masterpiece of DIY production. You would see Jack jumping between the piano, drums, a synthesizer, while Natalie laid down soulful vocals and played the bass. The videos were visually engaging, musically brilliant, and incredibly honest. They weren't just showing you the final product. They were showing you the entire creative process, and people were absolutely fascinated by it. Pamplemousse understood something fundamental about the new music business. Content is king. They didn't just release a song every 6 months. They consistently created and uploaded high-quality videos, giving their growing audience a reason to subscribe and keep coming back. They were more than a band. They were a YouTube channel, a regularly scheduled program that their fans looked forward to. They engaged with comments, explained their techniques, created a sense of a shared creative space. They used YouTube not just as a promotional tool, but as their main stage, building a loyal following that felt personally invested in their work. Through this strategy, Pamplemousse built a sustainable career without ever needing the traditional industry machine. They sold their music directly to their fans. They funded their tours through their online income. Jack Conte even went on to co-found the platform Patreon, creating a way for creators to earn a monthly income directly from their supporters. Pamplemousse's story isn't just inspiring. It's a masterclass in how to leverage a single platform to build a multifaceted, independent, creative business. They showed the world that with creativity and consistency, you can turn your YouTube channel into a thriving artistic enterprise. What happens when your art doesn't fit into any pre-existing box? What do you do when industry executives tell you that your idea is unmarketable? If you're Lindsay Sterling, you ignore them and build your own world. Lindsay is a classically trained violinist who also loves dancing and electronic music. Her dream was to combine these passions, to become a hip-hop violinist who performed high-energy, choreographed routines while playing. She presented this idea to labels and talent show judges and was met with confusion and rejection. Pick one thing, they said. There's no market, they said. Undeterred, Lindsay turned to YouTube in 2007. She partnered with videographer Devin Graham and started making epic music videos. These were cinematic short films, not simple performance clips, ice castles, plains of Africa. She composed electronic-infused violin tracks. She choreographed intricate dances. She wasn't fitting into classical or pop. She made her own genre. By creating for a niche, Lindsay unlocked a powerful dynamic. The mainstream saw no market. Millions craved something different. Fans of video games, fantasy films, electronic music, classical music, all found something to love. She wasn't for everyone. That was her strength. She became everything to a passionate group. Devoted fans bought music, funded projects, and sold out tours. Lindsay's career is a lesson. Embrace your weirdness. What gatekeepers called weakness became strength. She sold millions of albums, amassed billions of YouTube views, and tours the world to massive audiences without compromising her vision. You don't need to sand down your edges. Often those sharp edges cut through the noise. Find your niche, serve it with passion, and you can build an empire. Before we talk about branding, social media, touring, we have to start with the absolute core of your world, the music. It sounds obvious, but in the rush to build a following, you can lose sight of that. Your music is the foundation. If the foundation is weak or built to please others, the whole thing will crumble. The most important step: make music you genuinely love. Create something that excites you, that moves you, that you believe in with every fiber. Don't chase trends or try to sound like whatever's hot on radio or TikTok. Authenticity is the new currency. Dedicated fans can smell a fake. They feel when a song is committee-made or only built to go viral. Your passion, your unique perspective, your quirks, your vulnerabilities, pour your honest self into songs. That energy becomes embedded. It's a magnetic force that draws the right people to you. Think of your favorite artists, posters on your wall, whose albums you listen to on repeat. What drew you to them? It was likely the feeling that they were speaking a truth that resonated with you. They weren't trying to be everything to everyone. They were unapologetically themselves. This should be your goal. Make the best, most honest music you can. Hone your craft. Writing, rewriting, producing, practicing. Fall in love with creation. Your enthusiasm will be contagious, your strongest marketing tool. Before follower count, worry about songs. Before a logo, design a killer chord progression. Make music for an audience of one, yourself. If it gives you chills, that makes you proud. You've built a strong foundation. Everything else will flow from this essential starting point. Once you have music that you believe in, it's time to think about how you present it to the world. The word branding can sound corporate and cold, like a soda ad. But let's reframe it. Your brand is simply your story. It's the collection of ideas, feelings, and images that come to mind when someone hears your artist name. Not a fake persona. Identify your core essence and communicate it consistently. The goal? Move listeners from "I like that song" to "I love that artist." To begin, ask yourself, what are the central themes in your music? Heartbreak, social justice, wild parties, quiet introspection? What emotions do you want people to feel? Dance, cry, think, feel empowered. Who are you as a person? Mysterious poet, energetic rocker, witty observer, vulnerable storyteller. Your brand is the intersection of your music's themes, the emotions you evoke, and your own personality. It's the unique energy only you can bring. Think of artists with clear brands, dark, ethereal aesthetics and baggy, defiant fashion. Music aligned, whispery vocals, heavy bass, themes of anxiety and teenage angst. Consistency across music, videos, artwork, public persona. Focused, not fake. Fans find and connect with a clear world. Your brand is your promise. It tells them what they can expect from you. It helps you stand out in a sea of endless new music. Take some time to write down words, colors, images, ideas. Are you vintage or futuristic? Vintage, futuristic, black and white or vibrant technicolor? Black and white, vibrant technicolor, urban or rural? Urban, rural, not boxing you in. It's building a platform so your voice is heard above the crowd. Your story is more than just a list of facts in your Spotify bio. A good bio might say, Jane Doe is a singer-songwriter from Austin, Texas. A compelling narrative tells us why that matters. It weaves the facts of your life into a story that gives your music context and emotional weight. A narrative answers the why behind your art. Why did you start making music? What experiences shaped your sound? What is the mission behind your songs? This narrative is the soul of your brand, the human element that transforms you from a content creator into a relatable person people want to root for. Let's workshop that example. Instead of Jane Doe as a singer-songwriter from Austin, Texas, what if the story was, after a soul-crushing breakup left her feeling lost in the sprawling city of Austin, Jane Doe picked up the dusty guitar her grandfather left her. She wasn't trying to write hits, she was trying to write her way back to herself. Each song became a diary entry, a raw and honest account of finding strength in vulnerability. See the difference? The second version invites us in. It creates an emotional hook. It tells us that her music is about resilience, making it instantly more meaningful. Your personal story is your unique selling proposition. No one else has lived your life. No one else has your specific combination of influences, heartbreaks, triumphs, perspectives. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and share parts of your journey. Did you grow up in a small town and dream of the big city? Did you overcome a fear of singing in public? Did a specific artist or album change your life and inspire you to start creating? These details are not trivial. They are the threads that will weave a connection between you and your listeners. They allow fans to see themselves in your story. Start crafting your narrative today. Write it down. Practice telling it. This story will become the foundation for your social media posts, your interviews, your website copy, and the way you talk to fans at your shows. It should be authentic and true to you. Don't invent a tragic backstory for marketing purposes. Simply dig deep and find the compelling truth of your own artistic journey. When you have a clear and powerful narrative, you give people more than just music to listen to. You give them a story to believe in and become a part of.